Hey, chat. Good evening. Hello, it's Monday night. This is kind of a last minute thing here. I normally we don't do Monday nights, but something dropped that I think is worth looking at, and I don't want it to derail the rest of the week. You guys saw we have a schedule out for the week out there, so go take a look. I know 2 weeks this month I've done a schedule, so wow. But this is you're gonna see the banality of evil. You're going to see that today. And I know a bunch of you already know what we're talking about. Involves Assistant District Attorney Adam Lally. We're up in Norfolk County. And that's up in Massachusetts. Remember him from the Karen Reed case, Karen Reed 1 and Karen Reed 2. And we're going to be getting into that. And for those of you guys who are new, my name's Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland area and Cleveland, Ohio. Not Cleveland, Oklahoma. Or Cleveland, Pakistan. And we're going to be talking about this because this today, this is it incompetence or is it corruption? And it is so hard. I've only listened to about 10 minutes of it, but my God, it is so hard to figure out what's going on. Little Jen Kutt says, fancy Sean. Yeah, had to go to court today. So longer than I anticipated. So yeah, we're still ready to go. We're still ready to go. So we're going to get into this. And before we get started, we kind of need to do a little bit of a backstory here. And the backstory is about what this case that currently Lally's having to deal with right now. Oh, by the way, here's the tie I wore today. I thought it looked pretty good with what I had on. So we're going to let you guys see that. Okay, so here's the story of who we're talking about today. And this is actually through Turtle Boy, and I want to say all credit to Turtle Boy on this one. This is Myles King. Myles King is a rapper, all kinds of stuff, out in Norfolk County, Massachusetts. So that's Myles King. Now, in 2021, Myles is accused of committing a murder. And that murder was documented through the Norfolk County Prosecutor's Office and the Massachusetts State Police in their statement of a case. And remember, guys, this goes all the way back to 2021, July of 2021. So you know what that means? This predates Karen Reed. But it'll chill you. Because you're going to see what happens with these people. And how did this all go down? And hold on, why did this not work? Hold on, Jen. I guess we're going to cheat and combine everything in Acrobat here because it all wants to be difficult. Hold on here, guys. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, we're all set. Oh, I got an email. What's my email? Sorry, I just heard an email bing in. Okay. All right. Why is it not telling? I got to figure out where I save this at. Okay, hold on here. Yeah, I need to refresh it and grab it. But they did a whole statement of the case. And you're going to see some things in here that when they happen, you're going to be like, wait, what? How did this happen? How did this thing go down? And it's going to make you wonder what happened in the Karen Reed case, because a bunch of shit that Karen Reed we had to deal with that didn't happen. Well, these guys did here. And you're just like, well, then why couldn't we do it the right way? Why couldn't we do it the right way? Because in this guy's case, they do get a court case put together. And hold on here. Where is? We're not going to fly. We're not going to read this in depth because the story isn't really what matters here. But this shows what we're talking about. So this is the Commonwealth statement of the case. And you guys can see here that On July 10th, 2021, guys, I got these from Turtle Boy's website. So once again, all credit to Turtle Boy on this. And if you guys know, yes, I did reach out to him. So I'm waiting for him to respond. But anyways, July 10th, 2021. So this is before Karen Reed, you guys. They found a guy who was shot. And they arrived at the scene, and they found Marquis Simmons laying on the grass. They had a single gunshot wound, and they found a bunch of shell casings all around. While rendering aid, they said that he couldn't breathe, and they said that, they had to do it. And they said, yeah. They asked him who shot him. And Marquis Simmons stated Mizzy Cash. Mizzy Cash is Myles King's rap name. That's who this is. This is Mizzy Cash. This is Mizzy Cash right here, chat. So we have a dying declaration. I'm sure this guy thought he was dying, and he does die because it's a murder case. Dying declaration, chat. They asked him further if he had been fighting with anybody, and no, and he faded in and out of consciousness. They asked what happened. So they asked what they didn't know what happened. Miss Atkins Gamble, and this is his mom, stated she heard her son say, he said he was going to do it. He said he was going to do it. And then she observed him lose conscious shortly after. And his mom was there, and his mom came out and found him, and he said he was going to do it. So he dies. He dies ultimately. And that's, and they point out, began to seize in the ambulance. He underwent emergency surgery, and he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead that night at 10:15. So who gets involved? Remember, it's the Massachusetts State Police, guys. Remember, in Massachusetts, the state police handle they handle these investigations. This is, once again, a thing that each state does. Every state is different. And these guys are a little more different than anywhere else. Now, let me see here. You guys can see that. Okay, I think you can. Now, from here, the bullet had struck a major artery and resulted in a collapsed lung. That'll kill you. Tension pneumothorax is a bitch. So there's more people involved. July 11th, Trooper Kevin Nickel, attended his autopsy. He had a single gunshot wound to the front left shoulder. There was evidence of stippling around the wound, indicative of a close gunshot. And that's right. Pieces of gunpowder, unburnt gunpowder, were found on his skin, the stippling. So, anyways, it went into his left lung, into his chest cavity, and grazed the right lung. That's gonna get you. As it transected the chest cavity, it severed his spinal cord. You're not looking good at that point, guys. They removed the bullet from behind the right shoulder blade. Well, that's it. So, the officers in Milton, Massachusetts were familiar with a local rap artist known as Myles King. He had been identified by his stage name, Mizzy Cash. So what happened after that? So a bunch of police respond to the scene on Belvoir Road. Okay. So there's some detectives from the Milton Police who show up, and we don't care about them, as well as troopers Michael Proctor and Brian Tully of the Massachusetts State Police Detective Unit. It's so sad. These motherfuckers, they show back up. That's what happens here, guys. Myles King, Brian Walshe, Karen Reed, Sandra Birchmore. The hits just keep coming. It's all in the game, yo. It sounds like it a little bit, but yeah. And this is before Karen Reed, too. So what do they say? Well, some people said that they heard two pops. They turned around and observed two black males running down the road. He said they were both wearing face masks, which that was a great time in COVID to commit crimes. Anyways, so they keep moving here. We're not worried about this all these people involved. A lot of people give, a black guy 5'7" to 5'8" wearing a full zip hoodie with Klein across shoulders. All that stuff. We're not really worried about all this stuff. Like it's not, they're getting the victim's ID. They're getting information. But guess what these detectives do? The city detectives do. They retrieve surveillance video from a local school. They're going out and looking for things. Guess what? They're doing right things. They're doing detective work. They're doing detective work. They talk about the other cameras affixed to the corners of the school. Like they're doing real things here. They're doing real things here. There's more witness discussions here about what's going on. Talking to witnesses in the neighborhood. Notice, Proctor's out interviewing residents nearby. Why isn't he doing that all the time? Well, we don't know. They also, in addition, investigators also retrieved video from residents at Oak Street. Sounds like they got Ring or some sort of, they're actually doing detective work. They're doing detective work. They're doing detective work. They find everything they can. Then eventually they find what they believe to be the murder weapon, which was a Glock 26, with one in the chamber and an extendo, which had 23 rounds. While it was capable of holding 30. So yes, those guys had stendos, which I give them credit for. In addition, the firearm had a laser sight attached to it. Chat, do not get carried away with your stereotypes. But yes, that's a very stereotypical thing. The laser beam. Got that beam in your eye. They love laser sights in the hood for some reason. And a red dot is far more effective than a laser sight. So, oh. But they go ahead and they take care of everything that's going on here. This case goes on and on and on and on and on. Once again, Trooper Proctor received phone records. The response to a search warrant previously issued. Now, notice the search warrant's important. So what did they find? Well, they found that, they found King's phone was in contact following the shooting with someone associated with another defendant. In the following days and weeks, investigators retrieved security camera videos from various businesses in the area. Wow, it's like if only they worked this hard for Karen Reed, if only they worked this hard. They talk about surveillance videos from other places, and they talk about this from the same videos. Yes, they had evidence here, chat. They had all kinds of evidence. So ultimately, their arguments are that Myles King is responsible for this. But was it snowing? Yes, enough to track a cat. Now, from here, it gets even worse, chat. It gets even worse. Because why do we have Adam Lally on the stand? Well, it's pretty it's pretty fucked up why Adam Lally's on the stand. And Adam Lally's on the stand for very, very, very simple reason. And you're gonna think it's funny because it's all the stuff Hank Brennan cried about. It's all the stuff Hank Brennan cried about multiple times in court over. And you're like, well, wait, how does that work? I mean, how does this work for Skank Brennan? But it does. The state fucked up discovery, and I'm not talking about a little bitty thing here or there. No, don't chat. This case has been going on since 2021. Myles King has been sitting in jail, and Turtle Boy believes he did it, and it sounds like this guy probably did it based on what's available. It sounds like there's some convincing evidence. Is it all of it? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough to convict this guy, but it's impressive. It's impressive evidence. They fucked around repeatedly with it. And we're now in 2025, and we still don't have the search warrants, for example. They're not available. And from here, we end up with this. The case had to get continued, and here's what you guys need to look at. So there was a joint motion that was filed for this. And if you guys notice this, read along with me. They had the joint motion of the parties details a truly voluminous amount of discovery that was only recently produced to the defendant when a new prosecutor assumed responsibility for the case. Adam Lally left the case in 2024, and a new prosecutor got involved. So what do they find? All kinds of shit. Additional police reports, scientific testing, search warrants, and other documents in a 41-page motion. And this is from the judge. And he's saying the defense stated, and this court agrees, new discovery changes the direction of the case. It does. There may well be new additional motions that will have to be litigated and investigation that will need to be done. The search warrants for a 4-year-old murder are just now getting brought to the defense's attention. The search warrants, you guys. This motion to continue is allowed in the interest of fairness. And the party should confer about a new trial date. And more important, this guy's had a bond that he has not been able to post. The court had lowered it to $100,000. But because this has been so fucked up, they agreed to reduce it to a $2,500 cash with a GPS monitoring and home confinement. The court takes into account and weighs everything. He says this guy has no record and strong family support. But the court also takes into account the consideration of the very serious charges. Therefore, bail is set at $10,000 cash with a GPS device. I mean, think about it. This guy sat in jail for 4 years while this fucked around. And the bail amount was arrived at through a thorough review of the papers, consideration of the arguments of skilled counsel, and evaluation of various bail factors, including the fact they jerked it around. The state jerked this case around. Completely unacceptable conduct. Unacceptable conduct. And you know what? Adam Lally was the former prosecutor. Guess what happened to him today? He got called to the stand, and he had to come in and explain why this didn't happen the way it did. And there's no excuse for this, but he was forced to take the stand. He was forced to take the stand today in court for this. And this is we're going to watch it through the Young Jerks. You guys remember Mike Crawford over at the Young Jerks. He's doing a great job at saving all this stuff and keeping it so we can watch it. But this is the same courtroom. This is Bev's courtroom. Now remember, we're looking at it from the other angle. The camera would be right here, and it would be shooting this way. This is where the jury would sit. This is the witness box, and the judge sits right here. So we're in a bit of a different angle. So here we go. This is going to be about what Adam Lally did, why he didn't do it, and why things didn't get done. So let's take a listen.
Always new information that you're getting from the state police.
I think it would vary. I think there were certainly items that I probably had to ask for more than once, but there were definitely items that I had asked for and was provided promptly, and then moved on from there to either additional information or that avenue was complete.
So do you keep records of, I asked for search warrants, I asked for crime lab stuff, I asked for witness statements. Do you keep records when you receive that information to be able to check off to say, I got these things, they're no longer outstanding and the rest of this is?
I mean, I keep records in the sense of a list of items I'm looking for. And obviously when I receive something, then yeah, that would get checked off the list as far as I'm not looking.
Now, I will say, guys, it all depends on, like, are you paper or electronic? But, for example, we're like here in Ohio, like there's a software program called Matrix. And the police departments all have it set up on their computers. And they can upload documents immediately. And it shows that then when they were sent in, they have a bait stamp on them. And you know when things get added to the files. So I ask for discovery and I get it a certain date. But I know when things got added to the file. There's no questioning it. And when you're the prosecutor side, you really have the ability to collate and check things out. But how do you check? How do you know? Do you check up? How do you follow up on cases? What's going on? And once again, this isn't some rinky-dink disorderly conduct. This is a fucking murder. And now we're seeing, oh, well, they didn't get around to it. Well, these guys just don't give a shit. It wasn't just a Karen Rain thing. Oh, we're fucking bumbling idiots. They just don't care. It's the banality of evil. Yeah, whatever. I'm a government worker. I get my paycheck. And more importantly, and this is something Dagamore here I think is correct. I know a lot of people on LawTube don't agree with me on this, and I'm fine with being an outlier on it. The government's mistreatment of a case sometimes should result in a dismissal with prejudice, case over, done. That's the only way they're going to learn. If cases are allowed to proceed because they fucked with evidence and that's only excluded, but they can still go to trial and what they have left, no, they're never going to learn. They'll only learn when they take a big fucking L and the community comes knock on their door and say, why is that murderer walking free? I thought he was supposed to have a trial. And they have to go, well, we fucked up. And then people say, wow, I want a new district attorney. Or they pressure the district attorney, fire that guy or we'll fire you. Same thing for the police. I mean, Karen Reed has highlighted how bad this area is. And you know why we're talking about this one? Because it just shows you the Karen Reed stuff wasn't a one-off. But that this place in Massachusetts, I mean, I'm sure there's other prosecutors' offices around the country that have problems. But oh my God, this is a disaster zone. Once again, Brian Walshe, Karen Reed, Sandra Birchmore, now Myles King. Those are just the 4 I know about. How many more do you guys know about if you live out there? It's just no excuse for this. No excuse for this at all. And the only way they're going to learn is if they take an ass whooping. It's the only way these people learn. It's the government. The government only responds to force. These people only respond to a boot heel. Lally will only respond to a boot heel. He starts getting his ass kicked, he'll stop doing something. Otherwise, he doesn't care. You saw him, he just sat there and played with fucking paper clips while Hank Brennan did his thing. He didn't give a fuck. And listen to this guy, he just doesn't fucking care. Real quick, Fallen Hero 4567 is a new member. Thank you for that support. I appreciate it. Eric Rodriguez has been a member for 6 months. Thank you, Eric. Says, how long to die from shot? Yes. Unhung Hero has been a member for 17 months. Thank you. I appreciate the support, man. Says, Suffa Lally. Also get the stepping grays. And that's because Unhung Hero gifted 10 subs. Thank you for that support. I appreciate it. And chat, you know, when you get rid of the gray, when you try to get rid of the grays, you know, this is what it should look like in your head because you're doing God's work. Pretty much, chat. Pretty much what you're seeing. So, thank you, Unhung Hero. And then eBay Warhol, Tracy Fagan. Thank you, Tracy. Is saying the only way the Constitution works if it works for everyone. Exactly. And Fair Frozen 55 says it's not about effectiveness, Sean. It's about the hood. If they wanted to be effective and actually hit, they wouldn't hold them sideways to begin with. Oh, he's talking about the guns. That's very true. That's very true. But let's keep going here. Let's keep moving along. Drummer on Fire says, you like KFC? I mean, like, look at me. Do you think I do not enjoy some good Kentucky Fried Chicken with the Colonel's secret blend of herbs and spices? Do I really look like I would not enjoy some nice fried chicken? I'm a little offended. It's shocking how much La Nuit Yule saying it's shocking how much indifference he shows for missing search warrants. Yeah. And we're going to get to a point here, guys, where it's very interesting how this is set up. Apparently, the police are the ones who hold on to it in Massachusetts. Like here in Ohio, when cops apply for search warrants, like the judges I've seen, and I've seen a lot of judges, they all make copies and hold on to it. Because anything they're signing out the door, like you have to apply and they keep a copy. And this is the fact that like it's fucking Proctor holding on to shit is a little scary. Let's keep going.
For that anymore because I have it.
Okay. So if you got a set of grand jury minutes from a witness that testified in front of the grand jury, you'd check that off your list.
Well, as far as yes, I mean, I was at the grand jury, so I know who testified at the grand jury. But as far as receiving the minutes, yes, I'm aware of the dates, and when I receive the minutes, then that would check that off the list.
I missed, I think, a question and answer, one question earlier. I think the question was, do you keep records of what you requested? What was your answer to that question?
So records, as far as what was requested, I would always have at least in some form, some sort of running list of items I was looking for. And then if I received an item, then that would be something that would be off the list. Now that list would be obviously added to as information develops, and there might be additional items that I'm looking for.
And presumably because it's on the list, you've made the request?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you'd have whatever's on the list, you'd have emails requesting that information. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then if they emailed back, you'd have checks off of your list that you got whatever it was. That, maybe you were asking for 10 things and you got 5. You'd check those 5 things off your list. Is that right?
Yes.
Is there any other mechanism you used to document what you got from, just right now we're talking about the state police, Trooper Tully and Trooper Proctor?
I'm sorry, any other mechanism of doing what again?
Keeping track of what they're producing for you. Is it all just emails and check marks on a list? Or is there some other way that you keep track as well?
No, I mean, it would be something that I would have a list of items that are outstanding that would be, followed up on if they hadn't been received at that point, and then I would follow up with whoever the appropriate person was to get copies of those.
And these lists remain in the file? Your lists with the check marks remain in the file?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And have you reviewed any of them before you testified here today?
No.
Okay. Is there a reason you didn't review the file before you testified here today?
I don't have the file.
Did you ask for the file? It's in your office. Do you say, hey, prosecutor bro, can I take a look at that real quick and refresh myself? You're not prohibited from doing that. No, he's like, fuck you, man. I'm here to get a government check. I go home at the end of the day. He's like, it's fucking Monday, man. You harshed my weekend with this.
You work for the DA's office, right?
I do.
And it's in the DA's office, right?
Yes.
And you knew you were going to be asked questions about this case, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do anything to educate yourself about what you did initially on the case?
Objection. This is her witness.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that as an objection.
That's the prosecutor's office, the DA's office. So this is Lally's like buddy objecting. So these fucking worms just protecting each other at this point.
But I'm going to sustain the objection as to the relevance. He did not review the file. Next question.
So what did you review in preparation for your testimony here today?
I reviewed portions of the file. I reviewed some of the items that have been produced by ADA Hickman. I reviewed search warrants. I reviewed police reports. I reviewed, you were asking.
So you know there's search warrants. Why didn't the search warrants ever get turned over? Like if you reviewed them, why weren't they turned over?
Specifically as far as checklists or notations, I didn't review those, but I did review. I have portions of the file. I have access to the file, and I did review portions of the file.
Okay. So you did review portions of the file.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You just didn't review your checklist?
No.
Okay. Now, in terms of the Milton Police Department, do you also have emails going back and forth to the Milton Police Department asking for certain documents?
Yes.
And who in the police, would that be Lieutenant Collins?
Yes.
Anyone else in the Milton Police Department were you looking for documents from?
On this case, I don't believe so, no.
And did you keep the same type of list that you kept for the state police of outstanding things that you were looking for the Milton Police Department?
Yes.
And what did you get back from the Milton Police Department? Do you remember?
Items of similar nature that they had access to as far as police reports, photographs. I don't believe Milton did any of the search warrants in this case, but other items of discovery, video that they recovered, that there's a litany of different items.
A litany of different items? Did you
Yes.
say? Okay. And those would all be memorialized by email? Is that how you did it?
Yes, that's, I think, what Mr. McGee attached as Exhibit 1. It's about 137 pages.
Of emails back and forth between the Milton Police Department and you?
Correct.
And so at what point do you know that you have all of, so other than, strike that, Milton Police, State Police, any other person or entity that you sought information for in this case?
Certainly.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Who's that?
Be the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, be the State Police Crime Lab. There were some items that were outsourced to Bodie Technology Lab in Lorton, Virginia, where they did some additional forensic testing pursuant to DNA. They have different methods that our lab does not. Milton Fire Department, I believe Fallon paramedics were involved in the transport of the victim, Mr. Simmons. That's all I can think of at this point.
Okay. And would you communicate with those agencies the same way you communicated with the State Police and the Milton Police via email?
For the most part, could have been phone call on some of those.
All right, so let's stop there. If there was a phone call, how did you memorialize what you requested and what they said in a phone call?
Notes.
You have individual notes?
Yes.
And where would those notes be right now?
In the file.
Okay. So do you keep like a running page of all the notes?
I'm betting those notes aren't in the file, because I'm sure that prosecutor's like, what do you mean they're in the file? You know, where are these notes? Because those notes are now discoverable to figure out what the hell happened.
That you've taken in the case with communications that you had with all of the other entities and officers in State Police in this case?
Not all in one location, but it would be sort of.
Okay, Kat, this is a hearing because Lally basically didn't turn over discovery in a 4-year-old murder trial and why he fucked around with it. So that's why.
Divided up by different entities as far as what I was requesting from that specific entity and what I was looking for, what I was still waiting for, what was still outstanding, things of that nature. Okay.
So what happens when you ask for something, let's just say from the State Police, and they don't give it to you? What's the next thing you do?
The next thing I do would be to ask for it again.
Okay. How many times do you ask for it before you have a meeting with the State Police to look at their file?
Objection. The biggest objection I have here is that we're not speaking about any individual document, any individual date, vague questions about
yeah, this is general practice, generally Mr. Lally's practice. I think part of the issue here is we don't have very specific items that are being referred to.
Right.
But I think I'm going to overrule the objection and give Attorney Scapiccio a little bit of leeway here in terms of general practice.
So now they're asking him, and the judge overruled that. It's like, yeah, what the fuck do you do? What are you doing? How does this work for you? What are your policies? What are your rules? It's kind of important for us to know. Real quick, Stephen Cooper gifting us 10 subs. Thank you for the support. Hunch the Dirty Roofer says, Sean, your superpower should be finding the best fried chicken in 100 miles telepathically. Well, I mean, like, yeah, like, yes, like, yes, KFC is nearby. I eat it. I live in McWhitersville, chat. I'm not driving down to Church's Chicken in the hood. Okay? Like, jeez. And don't tell me Popeye's good. Popeye's is trash. And we don't have Bojangles nearby. So I've never had Bojangles. Sweet Bovine says, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Dagamore says, member for 10 months. All the talk of subs, but none of DOMs. Okay. Calm down out there. Greencap saying, why isn't it a violation of the guy's speedy trial rights? I think because at times they agreed to getting stuff and getting discovery done. So that's why I'm assuming that's not an issue right now. But yeah, very quickly, the state has sandbagged the case. Like, they are going to fuck themselves over. I can see that being a massive problem here for the state very shortly if they don't get this figured out. I could easily see this becoming a problem. Actually, hold on. What is this? The court just sent me. Okay. All right. All right, chat. But here we go. Let's keep moving. Let's see. Nick said you're going to find out what civil court means. Okay, well, whatever. I mean, like, you know, if you feel like it. Rallies? Yeah, Rallies is fine, but I don't really like Rallies. Chicken's awful. So Ohio's Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's is fucking like, it's not impressive at all. Raising Cane's is garbage. So eBay Warhol says Massachusetts does not have a speedy trial statute, but the 6th Amendment does apply. So you can't get around the 6th Amendment does apply. So let's keep going.
So in general, how many times do you email for the same document before you go to the state police and start to have a sit down with them?
I think it varies. I think it would be depending on a lot of different factors as far as what the item is, what the explanation is for why I don't have it yet, whether it's not available or whether it's something that they're currently working on, or if it's something that I know has been completed and I've asked for it multiple times and I still don't have it. I'm not saying that even happened in this case, but if in a general practice, if that were something that were going on, then yes, I would want to sit down with somebody and figure out exactly what's going on. Okay.
So let me ask specific questions about this case. When you reached out, let's start with Trooper Proctor. In this case, looking for information, and there were emails back and forth. Were there any occasions where you did not get the documents or the information that you were seeking from Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall anything specific other than if it was a situation where I'm looking for a report about something and that report hasn't been completed yet, or that item hasn't been obtained yet for whatever reason. But I don't recall in this case ever asking for something and just not getting it.
Do you remember asking Trooper Proctor for the search warrants that he did in this case?
Yes.
And the affidavits accompanying the search warrants?
Yes.
And did he provide them to you?
What I received was a partial affidavit for search warrants.
Did he provide them to you, yes or no?
Some.
How many search warrants do you recall there being in the King Gardner case?
In 2021 or beyond?
2000. Let's start with 2021. How many search warrants? You guys have search warrants?
6.
6 search warrants. When you asked, and he signed all 6 search warrants, is that fair to say?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And so when did you ask Trooper Proctor for the search warrant?
In July or August of 2021 when they were filed for.
Okay. And when did you get all 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor?
I didn't get all 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor.
You did not?
I did not.
Okay. So did you get 1 search warrant from him?
From him specifically, I received a portion of the affidavit for search warrant 306 and the entire affidavit for search warrant 348.
Okay, so you got portions of 2 search warrants, and you knew there were 6 search warrants, is that right?
Yes.
Did you make notes somewhere in your file? Geez, I asked Trooper Proctor for these 6 search warrants. You haven't given them to me yet?
I believe, yes.
Okay, those notes are in your file?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then when you didn't get the search warrants from Trooper Proctor, did you meet with him?
Yes, I mean, specific to that, I don't recall any specific meeting related to search warrants, but we did meet several times in relation to this investigation in this case.
But you understand that search warrants are Rule 14 automatic discovery, right? And you knew there were 6 search warrants, right?
I did.
And so when do you realize that you don't have all 6 search warrants? How long into the process? Do you know right away you don't have them all? Or do you not know for a long time you don't have them all?
I don't think I realized at that time that I didn't have them all.
So then I guess I'm confused about how your system works. You said you had a system where if you asked for something and you didn't get it,
Isn't that amazing how this all works out here with Adam Lally? Well, I check and I know, and if it's not there, I follow up on it. It's like, now I will say I had this problem before. Like, he knew he was missing shit. And I had this issue before. It's like, hey, detective, we need something. Or, hey, officer so-and-so, we need something. And you wouldn't get it. And after a while, if I didn't get it, I would go to, and I was very diplomatic about it. I would just CC, the way you got it done was you CC his sergeant or his lieutenant. And, they were CC'd at there saying, hey, hey, Officer Bob, just checking in on this thing. Do you have it ready for me? Because then you know what happens? Lieutenant Steve looks at that and goes up to Bob and says, hey, I've got that email. What the fuck's that all about? You got that squared away? No? Get it fucking done. It's a way to take care of it. And then if it doesn't get done, you just email the lieutenant directly. Hey, this guy won't give me this shit. I really fucking need it. Let's go. And that usually took care of it. So this idea, Lally's like, I'm powerless to do it. That's a, 1 second, chat. Thank you, Molsherry. It's also a problem because this isn't an independent police department in the sense of like the detectives are in a different building or they're in a different city or town from where you are. Because that happens. Where the county seat is not where every police department is. These guys like Lally or like Tully and Proctor are part of the Norfolk County Detectives Unit who work with the DA's office. So they already have a tight relationship. And Lally's like, well, I don't know how to get stuff. I'm helpless. Such bullshit.
You would then follow up with the police officer asking again and again. Did you do that with Trooper Proctor in this case with the 6 search warrants?
Yes, I believe so.
How many times did you email Trooper Proctor asking for the 6 search warrants?
I don't know.
More than 10?
Very not surprising.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. How far in between each email? Did you wait a month and email him again? Did you wait a week? Did you wait a day? How long in between your requests to Trooper Proctor to produce the 6 search warrants in this case?
I don't know.
You don't?
No.
Did you review your emails before you came here today?
Some of them, yes.
Did you see any emails to and from Trooper Proctor regarding the search warrants?
Yes.
How many did you see?
I don't recall.
More than 5?
Yes.
More than 10?
I don't know.
What are the dates of the first time you asked Trooper Proctor for the search warrant?
Specific date, I don't know.
How long before the next time you asked him for a 6 search warrant?
Specifically, I don't know.
Was it months or weeks?
Weeks.
Weeks later. Okay,
Yes.
so that's 2 times you asked him. What about the third time? How much time went by?
I don't know.
Months or weeks?
I don't know.
What about the fourth time?
Again, I don't know how many times, and I don't know specific dates.
So I guess my question is, how does your system work if you're not getting the discovery that you're asking a police officer for, and you're asked for it, let's just say 5 times? What do? Do you go to the office and you sit down and say, give me these search warrants, I have to turn them over?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes.
You go to Trooper Proctor and say, give me the search warrants because I have to turn them over.
Yes.
When did you do that?
Sometime prior to the defendant's arraignment in December of 21.
November of 21, did you say?
December of 21.
December of 21. So when you get to his office, do you go there or do you tell him to come to your office? I don't know how that works.
Either way, I don't
Remember how you met about the search warrants the first time?
In
other words, did he come to you or you go to him?
I don't know.
Okay. So you have a sit down.
Yes.
And you ask him for the 6 search warrants, and what does he say?
Okay, you will get them to me.
He will get them to you.
Yes.
Okay. If you tell him I have an obligation to turn this over because it's Rule 14 discovery, I need it right away, I've asked for it 5 times, what's the deal?
Those specific words, no, but the gist, yes.
Well, tell me what you said specifically.
I don't know.
Well, give me a best estimate of what you said to Trooper Proctor after you asked 5 times
Objection.
search warrants that he didn't turn over.
Sustained.
So, did you keep any notes of your conversations with Trooper Proctor when you were asking for these 6 search warrants that he didn't give you?
No.
Why not?
Such bullshit. Chat.
It was something that I knew that was outstanding. It was something that I had asked for in written form numerous times. I didn't feel the need to write a note that I asked for it again.
But you weren't getting it.
So that's the first sit down.
Why didn't you do
Did
something?
you send emails after the first sit down saying, hey, you promised me you're going to send these 6 search warrants, I still don't have them?
Objection, assuming facts.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the
Did you
question?
send another email to Trooper Proctor after you had this sit down at sometime in December of 2021 saying, hey, you still didn't send those 6 search warrants, can you send them over?
Yes.
How far after Mr. King's arraignment in December of 2021 did you send that email to Trooper Proctor?
I don't know.
Was it a year?
I don't think so, no.
What do you think? What's your best estimate of when you sent that email after you sat down with Trooper Proctor?
I would say probably a few months later.
All right. A few months.
He just doesn't listen to him. When's lunch? Oh my God, am I able to retire? He has my pension vested. He just doesn't give a shit. God, like, you could, like, it makes it clear. During the first Karen trial, he just didn't care. And they hid evidence, and he knew evidence was hidden. And that's why when Hank Brennan hid evidence, Lally didn't care. When Hank Brennan did the thing about Lally getting up and waving around the, we're only 15 minutes in. Did we lose time on this, chat? I don't know. I feel like, did it rewind on us? You know, this is just, it's just dragging on. Oh, I know why. We're not speeding along here as part of the issue too. That would help us a little bit. But yeah, Lally doesn't care. Never cared.
Yes.
So February, March of 2022, is that what you think it?
I don't recall specifically.
So when you're in this room with Trooper Proctor asking about the 6 search warrants, do you ask him for his file? Like, give me your whole file so I can go through it and figure out what's in it?
No.
Why not? You're there. There's outstanding discovery. You have the obligation, not the police officer. Why don't you ask?
I insisted that whatever discovery I was requesting, I would get at some point in a timely fashion and then turn it over.
But you didn't get it. You asked for it 5 times. You didn't get it. You had to go see him. You have them right there now, and you still don't say, give me your file? Let me go through it?
No, I did not.
And when he says, you'll get the search warrants, I'll send them to you. Did he have them? Did he have copies of the search warrants? He just wasn't giving them to you?
That I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Well, You don't get the search warrant in any event after that sit down, and you send another email. What's Trooper Proctor's response to that email?
Again, I don't know that I sent another email, but I know that there were subsequent conversations about it. Whether it was what format it was in, I don't know.
Okay, and at this point, you have to be getting a little upset with Trooper Proctor that you're asking for information he's not giving you, right?
Objection. Overruled.
I'm sorry, your question again?
You have to be getting a little upset at Trooper Proctor that you're asking him for information that he's not giving you, right?
They upset, frustrated probably.
I'm sorry?
Frustrated probably.
Oh. Judge, can we proceed by this briefly?
Sure.
This is just such horseshit chat. Unfit for Normalcy has been a member for 4 months. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Saying Lally seems to be having a lot of memory issues. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Adore you, Sean. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Philip says, how's this a reason not to have him disbarred? Disbarring is a high bar, and it should be a high bar. But no, he should be getting reprimanded by his boss, but obviously nobody cares. Nobody cares. They clearly don't care in this office. Michael Morrissey hasn't gotten involved. You know, Lally's not, you know, like, I'm sure he has some supervision over others, but who's in charge of Lally? You know, this is just such horseshit from them. Such horseshit. Jefferson Post says, makes me proud that I gave a not guilty on jury duty. Well, there you go. Henrik is saying that these guys are drinking buddies. Probably at some point they are. 100%. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all that that's happening like that. Let's see here. Tunafelt, thank you for being here. So I'm disgusted to live in Norfolk County. But you know what, though? You see what's happening? You can change it. You get to vote. Vote for anybody challenging Michael Morrissey. Get rid of the bums. You know, go after who's going to get rid of the bums. Kritosis giving us 5 stubs. Thank you, Kritosis. Hope you're doing well. Hope your battle against the retard Acer Thorn is going well as well. And then EDW Raptor says a $5 for a suspender snap. There you go, chat. There you go. All right. Let's skip ahead here and see what we got. You're saying raise your hand when you hear the tone. Yeah, it's like the sound test. Shouldn't the governor get involved? I mean, like, you'd like to think so, but they're not going to. And chat, oh yeah, there you go. There's the guy who calls all the cases off. Real quick, and if you didn't know the attorney involved, the defense attorney involved in this, representing Myles King, is Rosemary Scapico. She is the one up there who's grilling Lally and flaying his ass. So that's who it is, in case you were wondering. So here we go.
In any event, ADA Lally, a couple of months goes by, you still don't have the 6 search warrants. What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'm specific to the 6 search warrants. I don't recall as far as there was a topic that was discussed repeatedly. Obviously, I never received them because I never provided them to you or to Ms. Costa.
Okay. So I guess what I'm saying is you knew they existed, and you knew that, let me say, you knew that all 6 search warrants existed. Is that right? Yes,
we went through all six of the search warrants on the last day of the grand jury presentation on November 19th, 2021. If that's in the grand jury minutes, as far as going through each of the materials, each of the search warrants, that they were search warrants, how that material was obtained, and the material that was returned in response to 3 of the search warrants was marked as grand jury exhibits 33, 34, and 35.
Right, but not the search warrants.
Correct. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry.
Information in front of the grand jury about 6 search warrants that you hadn't seen, and you put returns or information that had been returned in front of the grand jury on search warrants you had never seen.
So with
Answer that question.
And I'm trying to, so
Okay.
with
Listen how moronic that is. Guys, remember, the return on the search warrant is, you know, we returned the warrant, and it's also going to have the inventory accompanying it. Here's all the stuff we took, and here's the fact we executed the warrant, the proof we did it, what time we did it, and everybody involved on it. So Lally had all those, but you didn't go, maybe I should have got the warrants themselves. And it's a great question. Why don't you just go when you were hanging out with them? Remember, it's not a separate unit. It's like they're attached to working with the prosecutors. Like, walk over and be like, give me your fucking file. I'm going to make copies.
With regard to those 3 search warrants, that was 306, 307, and 329, which were the call detail records for your client, the victim, Mr. Simmons, and Mr. Jeanette. The materials also that came back from the cell phone providers also contained a copy of the warrant, as well as the addendum to the warrant, which was then also provided to you in Ms. Costa in discovery.
But not the warrants themselves.
No, the warrants themselves and the addendums, not the application and not the affidavit.
Right. So you understand that in order to make a determination as to whether or not you're going to suppress certain information, you actually need what you asked for and what you, in the affidavit, that told the clerk magistrate why you had probable cause, right?
Objection.
I can take judicial notice of that, and I'm sure Mr. Lally knows that.
Okay. So you get in front of the grand jury. When do you present this case to the grand jury?
Began in July of 2021. That grand jury sat in July, August, and September. The presentation had not been completed at that point, so there was a motion to extend the grand jury. And I believe there was one subsequent date that we went before them on November 19th, 2021.
November what?
19th, 2021, that's when indictments were returned.
In 2021?
Correct.
Okay. So at some point when Mr. King is arraigned, you understand at that point Rule 14 kicks in, right?
Yes, I mean, I'm thinking,
right?
I'm thinking about Rule 14 well before that.
Okay. And you know, when you arraign Mr. King, you still don't have the search warrant. Do you have another conversation with Trooper Proctor about, hey, where are these search warrants? I have to turn them over?
I'm sure I did.
And do you know when that would have been?
I don't.
Okay. And then, remember at some point in December of 2021, receiving a discovery notice from me. They put it trying.
Yes.
This is just my discovery notice.
Discovery motion, or what is
Motion,
that?
I'm sorry, motion, Judge.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, after having filed this motion, you asked the time to go through and make sure that you can comply with all the requests, right?
Yes.
You didn't have any specific objections to anything that I was asking for, right?
At that time, no.
Okay. May I put witness round?
Yes.
Sorry, Judge.
Is that an exhibit? Is that a docket entry?
It is a docket entry, Judge.
You know what it is?
I think it's,
Or we can mark that just so that there's a record of what you're showing the witness?
has my writing on it, Judge. So
All right,
I won't
so-
mark it. But I'll do it after the hearing. I'll find the exhibit and I'll make a clean copy and send it to the court, Judge. So once you get the discovery notice, you know for sure that there are certain categories of information that we're looking for, right?
Yes.
And number one is all automatic mandatory discovery under Rule 14, right?
Correct.
Would you consider those search warrants automatic mandatory discovery under Rule 14? Okay. And we were looking for any and all statements of witnesses, is that right?
Yes.
And we were looking for all exculpatory information, whether
The
tangible.
document speaks for itself.
Okay, that's fine, Judge. So after I filed this motion to December of 2021, you have another conversation with Trooper Proctor saying, give me the 6 search warrants.
I'm sure I did. My general practice is if there is any
Notice he talked about his general practice, but apparently his general practice wasn't followed today. Just hear him huffing and puffing, too.
discovery motion that's filed by counsel, what I'll do is I'll send that to the appropriate police personnel as far as making requests and making sure that they're apprised of what's been at least asked for.
And did you do that in this case? Did you send my motion for discovery to Trooper Proctor, to the Milton Police, to the crime lab, to the medical examiner's office? Did you send it to all of those entities?
Every motion that you filed, yes.
Okay. And then what do you do to follow up with each of those entities? Let's start with the state police. They get a copy of my discovery motion. You're looking for all of the evidence that they have, and specifically these 6 search warrants that, for whatever reason, Trooper Proctor hasn't given you. When you follow up, how long does it take you to follow up from the time that you give them the motion until you get an answer from them?
Specifically, I don't know. Typically, I would give it a couple of weeks or so.
And after a couple, in this case, did you give it a couple of weeks, you think?
Probably.
Okay. And then what happens?
And then I'll follow up again.
When you say follow up, do you send another email, or do you get in your car and drive down there and say, we got to end this, give me this stuff?
I email or a phone call.
Okay. And so did you email or phone call, or make a phone call to Trooper Proctor in this case?
I'm sure I did.
And what was his response
I don't
when you
recall.
asked for the 6 search warrants?
I don't recall.
Well, do you have any notes of your conversation with him? Remember you taking notes?
I don't believe so, no.
Is there a reason that you didn't take notes when you spoke to Trooper Proctor after these search warrants had become an issue? that you wouldn't take notes of what Trooper Proctor told you about the search warrant?
So you're asking me about a conversation that I don't recall specifically when it happened or exactly what was said. So whether or not I took notes for that conversation, I don't know. What I would do typically in my general practice is to follow up with whoever I had outstanding discovery requests in relation to try to get whatever information that I was seeking.
Okay, and so did you follow up with Trooper Proctor about the 6 search warrants?
I'm sure I did, amongst probably a number of other items.
Okay, and then you knew the case was going in for another date on discovery, right?
Yes.
And you knew you'd have to answer to the court what you provided and what's outstanding. Isn't that typically how it goes on discovery dates?
Yes.
Did you ever tell the court, geez, I have these 6 search warrants that Trooper Proctor has, I can't get my hands on them, can you issue an order or can you help me out here?
Did I do that? No.
So when you went to court, do you remember representing to the court that discovery was ongoing and that you were producing as much information as you could? Remember that?
Typically, that's what I would say if that was the case, yes.
Okay, but you knew when you represented that to the court that you didn't have the search warrants, right?
Yes.
So what was your plan? How are you going to get them?
As I stated, what my practice would be if there was some outstanding item of discovery, I would request it and follow up if I hadn't received it.
But you did that. You requested it 5 times. You went to see him. Then you got my discovery motion. You sent that to him. You waited another month. And then what happened?
I don't recall.
Well, don't you tell him, get me these things now. I'm coming down your office?
Objection.
Overruled.
Did I ever tell him that? No.
Okay. So what do you do when he's not complying with your request? What's the policy in the office of the district attorney's office in Norfolk County when a state trooper is not complying with a request for discovery?
Objection.
Overruled if there is a policy.
What's the policy?
I don't know any specific policy related to that.
Okay. So do you go to your supervisor then and say, hey, I've asked Trooper Proctor 5, 6, 7 times for these search warrants. I've been down to see him in person at least once. He's not giving them to me. What do I do?
No.
Did you ever have another case other than Mr. King?
Like, do you go to your supervisor? Do you go to your direct report and knock on his door and go, hey, Jane, what do I do? This cop's acting like a fucking dickhead. You know the Myles King murder? Yeah, this fucking Proctor won't give me shit. Does he knock on Michael Morrissey's door? Does he do anything? He just goes, oh, well, guess can't find it. Oh, well, I tried.
Ms. Gardner's case where a state trooper didn't give you search warrants that you had been asking for since before indictment?
Objection.
Overruled.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I be heard on one slight issue? The discovery, the discovery request that counsel is speaking to, I don't believe that it was ever docketed. I don't have a copy of it. I've never seen it. So
The motion. The motion.
Motion for discovery was filed. He got
it may not have reached the docket.
I want to make sure that you see it, though. Let's make sure you.
I'm speaking about it a lot here.
No.
I've never seen it.
Attorney Scapiccio, can you just give it to Mr. McGee for a second?
Sure. You think it would be in the file?
I would think it would be in a file. Is that a clean copy?
That is a clean copy.
Can we mark that? Should we mark it?
It's unsigned, and it's probably, I don't know if it's draft or
Oh, the unsigned? All right, so let me get you a signed copy, Judge.
I don't know what was.
The bottom line is this witness said he received it, Judge. I know I wouldn't have not filed it. We talked about it in the hearing. And I think there is a transcript, Judge, of a hearing where we talked about the discovery motion. The court had it.
All right, we'll figure that out.
You got it.
We do have a, ADA Hickman did have a copy.
You do have a copy.
I never saw it on the docket. I was working right out the docket.
Okay.
So,
And just so the record is clear, we have marked it. You want it marked as exhibit?
Praise the Lord, it's a miracle. You ask the file to provide, and the file provides. God bless the file. Provided the motion you've been served with already.
Exhibit 1 in this hearing?
yes, sir.
Sure.
All right.
Get you a signed copy.
All right. That will be exhibit 1.
Thank you.
Oh, I
And also,
agree.
at some point, I'd like to mark the pre-trial conference report in this case.
Thank you.
So this had never happened to you before, Attorney Lally, and you didn't go to Lynn Beelan, who was your supervisor, and ask her what to do. What was your plan? How were you going to solve it?
I don't recall specifically having a plan. If there was a situation where I was asking a trooper or a case officer for something and I had not yet received it, I might get that person's supervisor involved as far as saying I've asked for this a few times, I don't have it.
Okay, so let's stop there. Trooper Tully was Trooper Proctor's supervisor, is that right?
Yes.
Did you go to Trooper Tully and say, hey, I don't know what the deal is, but I can't get these 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor. Can you have him send them to me?
Specifically about the search warrants, I don't recall.
You didn't go to a supervisor.
I don't know if I did or I didn't.
But as you sit here today, you don't remember going to a supervisor. Is that right?
I know that there were a number of meetings in relation to discovery that Lieutenant Tully was present for, along with Trooper Proctor, but going specifically to his office to demand 6 search warrants, I don't recall that.
Okay. So, how much time goes by before you ask for the search warrants again?
I don't know.
Is it a year?
I don't know.
During the time period, you fair to say that we were appearing in court every couple of months on discovery, right?
Yes.
Did you ever notify the court on any of those court appearances that you were having trouble getting custody of the 6 search warrants that were issued in this case?
No.
Okay. Now, you talked about having meetings, discovery meetings. Tell us what those are.
At various points, probably more towards the early stages, or if there's something that's significant that comes up, it would be just a meeting in relation to, this is the discovery that's outstanding, this is what I'm looking for, what's the ETA on this, when should I expect to receive this?
And are those meetings in person or on the phone?
Typically in person.
And do they take place at the DA's office or at the state police?
Well, I mean, in this specific instance, the state police is attached to the DA's office, so it's the same building. So whether it was my end of the hall or their end of the hall, I don't know.
Okay. And do you remember just...
Like I said, chat, he admits we're in the same building. We're on the same floor. I can walk down the hallway to them. Oh my God, I wish it was that nice for us. When I was a prosecutor, you had to if you, any of the offices weren't right there, you could walk down the hallway and solve a problem. The banality of this is just pure evil. A pure evil. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care. Yeah, even I would have no excuse. They'd be good for me. Could is carrying a lot of that weight. Yes, it is. You know, that's the other thing, too. He's been here for 20 years. Yeah. So he knows. He knows. Boosh is saying, just a weird question here. Is Lally allowed to review his case prior to this hearing? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he's allowed to. He admitted he did. But he's allowed to review the file. That's not a problem. That is not a problem. Tully's another corrupt son of a bitch, yeah. Lolo says, was Lally new at the time? It's 2021. He's been there for 20 years. No. Lally's been there for 20 years. Like, he had 15 years on the job at that point. And here's the thing, Lolo. Even if you're a brand new prosecutor, maybe like your first 3 months on the job, you might get away with that. But after that, you fucking ask questions. You go fucking get things done. You send fucking emails. A first-year prosecutor would know better. One year in, they definitely would know better. So, apparently Liz says, howdy, hello, yes. There's something called ethics, and sir, if you don't have it, you're in the wrong profession. Yeah, it is, but you know what? Prosecuting gigs, man, are pretty good. As long as you're if you're pretty organized, and, you're decent with, evidence, it's pretty easy most of the time. It's a pretty good gig. Easy paychecks. You don't have to go hunt for food. You get 9 to 5. You go home on the weekends for the most part. Life is good. EDW Raptor with 5 subs. Amok Hero says, God bless the file. The PDF file. Jesus. Oh. Real quick. Kratosis for 5 loonies out there. Keep forgetting you're Canadian. The battle goes well. 1 case dismissed. 1 to go for me. He's big mad. And guys, we might jump back into the Acer Thorn thing. I don't know. It's hard to do because Acer Thorn files so many fucking lawsuits and they all spiral out of control. It's like watching Russell Greer do the same thing 25 times at once. But the case with Acer Thorn and the Farms is still kind of dead. So Jefferson Post says Governor Healy was the attorney general. She ran the same corrupt circles. Yeah. And Henrik is right. They need to fire. All these people need to be fucking fired. They need to be. And then Roosevelt News Media says, I would love for me to be the judge in this hearing. Oh, I'd be asking a lot of questions, but at some point, this is just, I wouldn't be afraid to do. Like, that's a problem. I probably wouldn't be a judge for long. I'd be dismissing shit all the time. I mean, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. That'd be the way. You know what? I'd force the prosecutors to learn. They would learn to follow the rules. Because this is just pathetic. So. Yeah, they will. And that's the thing. That's the thing. The mill will keep grinding the grist. These guys will get promoted. Or they won't lose their jobs. And yeah, they'll get pay raises. Lally's on the pay scale. He's going to keep getting paid. Nothing's going to change. That's the sad part. And I hate to say it like that. Yeah, and this is the thing. Myles King, guilty or innocent, spent since 2021 until recently in fucking jail dealing with this shit. Just think about that. Just think about that. That it's so disgusting, but let's keep going here.
Discussing the search warrants and the outstanding nature of the search warrants at the first discovery meeting.
Yes.
And what was the response?
That the search warrants are still ongoing, as some of those search warrants were not just July. I believe it continued into probably September of 2021 as far as the last of the search warrants. I could be off on those dates, but.
So how many motions or how many meetings do you have regarding discovery before the return of the search warrant in July of 2021, if that's the date?
Not many. I mean, the murder occurs on July 10th, so there's not a lot of time in between that. So probably 2 at the most.
2, okay. And you don't take any notes on those meetings either?
I don't know.
But I guess I can't figure out, how do you keep track? If you have this list that says all these things are outstanding and you're having these meetings because there's things outstanding, if you're not taking notes at these meetings, how do you know what people are saying and when to expect the discussion?
And now here's the other thing too, chat. Like taking notes is kind of especially if you're in an office where there's multiple people involved in a case, you kind of have to do that really, really well. So, for example, like one of the reasons why you just keep notes is you document who you've talked to. Especially because, like victims, when they would call in, you would always document when they called what you talked about, because you don't have a recording of the phone call and you don't have like text messages. Now, if they send you an email, you might type in, yeah, victim sent me an email, saved it as a PDF, uploaded it into the file. It's preserved. See email. And you might have your response. But when you know there are these ongoing discovery issues, why wouldn't you cover your ass to come? Because I would be worried about being hauled into court. Be like, look, I did everything I could. I sent emails. I screamed and yelled at him. I screamed and yelled at my boss. Every fucking time I'm like, listen here, you son of a bitch. We're going to lose the fucking case. But, there's none of that here. Lally's like, yeah, well, whatever. He just didn't take any notes. And those of you out there who are nurses understand, in medical field, documentation is critical. Now, on the defense side, like especially with clients, the neat thing is I have a lot of text messages. Like, hey, here's your court date. I have questions about this. Yeah, what's up? And spitting out texts and emails. But when you have these face-to-face meetings like with the police, you've got to document what the fuck you're doing. And Lally didn't do that. Once again, they don't care. They don't care.
If you're not taking notes at these meetings, how do you know what people are saying and when to expect the discussion?
So if there was something that specifically was known as far as, this is what's going on with this piece, and an anticipated sort of ETA on return or something, then yeah, there would probably be a note about that.
All right, so let's assume that the returns came back the latest July of 2021. Let's give you 3 months, August, September, October. October of 2021. Are you asking again for the search warrants that you still
But
don't
we've
have?
been over this time period. I'm trying to figure out you went all the way through arraignment and on the number of meetings and emails back and forth. I get it, but maybe you want to cover new ground.
I'm just trying to figure out, so let me ask the question. So when do you realize that you never turned over the search warrants? When do you realize?
As far as the 2021?
Stop it. When did you get the search warrant in your custody?
In my custody?
Yeah.
I would say probably I became aware of it about a month ago.
In 2025?
Yes.
July of 2025 or June of 2025?
Yes.
Is the first time you became aware that you didn't turn over the search warrant?
Yes, if I had been aware earlier, then I would have turned over the search warrants.
But you had your list, right? You had your list that said 6 search warrants outstanding, right?
Yes.
You didn't ever check that off, right?
No.
So you knew they were outstanding, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then when did they get to your file?
Again, so as far as my file, they did not. Again, I became aware of it after the case had been transferred from myself to ADA Hickman.
Well, let's talk about that. What date was the case transferred from you to ADA Hickman?
I'd say probably somewhere in October or November of 2024.
2024?
Yes.
And how does the case, let me just say in general, how does the case get transferred from one DA to another? Is there a policy within the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office of what needs to get done to transfer a file?
No policy, no.
Okay. So what did you do in this case with Mr. King and Mr. Gardner to ensure that your complete file got in the hands of ADA Hickman?
So I physically took the physical file from my office to ADA Hickman's office.
Okay. Did you have a conversation with her?
Yes.
And did you tell her, hey, there's 6 search warrants that I was never able to get from Trooper Proctor?
Again, if I had known or remembered that the 6 search warrants were still outstanding, then I would have got them and provided them. So no, I did not reference that specifically.
But then at some point, ADA Hickman has to come back to you and say, did you not turn over these 6 search warrants? Say that to you?
No.
She never did?
Nope.
Did you ever have a conversation with ADA Hickman about the outstanding 6 search warrants?
Not until recently, no.
Okay, and what transpired?
Objection.
Sustained.
Well, so when you told the court that discovery was almost complete, did you know when you made that representation that the 6 search warrants were still outstanding?
Objection.
I don't know what time frame we're talking about.
I also, as I've stated in my opposition, I've reviewed the FDRs on this from December and February and the other dates in 2025. That statement was never made. So, and then December,
that's why I want a date.
and October as well, when Your Honor set this for trial. So thank you.
So, when's the last time you remember answering on this case?
I believe it was December of 2024.
Mhm.
Would it have been January of 2024?
Yep.
January 2024?
Oh, so let me back that up. In January 2024, were you still representing the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember there being a hearing regarding discovery?
Not specifically, but I'm sure there were.
And do you remember, excuse me, do you remember the court asking about discovery and how the discovery was proceeding?
I'm sure it happened. I don't recall that specific date or what was asked.
Okay. And do you remember telling the court in January of 2024 that you were hopeful that by March of 2024, we could proceed forward because discovery would be complete? Remember that?
I don't.
Okay. May I approach this now?
Yes.
This one, that wasn't able to.
January 2024.
I know. Show you the request. Okay.
May I approach this now?
Yes.
I'm going to give you the transcript of the appearance before this court on January 24, 2024, and ask you to look on page 5. And tell me, read that bottom of page 5 to yourself and the top of page 6.
Yes.
Does that refresh your memory as to whether or not in January 2024 you told this court that substantially discovery was complete? There might be 1 or 2 items that are outstanding, but can we get into it?
I didn't read that portion. I was reading the highlighted portion, if I could have a moment.
Sure.
Yep, the receipts are there. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing what you're referring to in that.
Well, you're telling the court, Your Honor, I think as far as discovery goes, we're in a fairly good position. Did you say that to the court?
I may have.
Look at lines 16, 17, and 18 on the document that's in front of you, Ms. Lally.
And what page, Mr.
Page 4, lines 16, 17, and 18.
Oh, she's just fucking beating his ass now, chat.
The court asks, where are we, Ms. ADA Lally? And you say, Your Honor, I think as far as discovery goes, we're in a fairly good position. Did you say that?
Again, I'm sorry. In the transcript that you handed me, I don't see that.
Let me see. It's a different one.
Is he blind? Maybe.
Do you remember? Hold on, let me get this right.
Yeah, guys, this is an asshole. But David is right. David from MLS is right. Search warrants are nothing special. They're not hard. It's easy. It's the basic stuff. And they can't do it. And how many lives has he fucked with in 20 years? Once again, he doesn't know and he doesn't care. Whatever. I got paid. I have retirement to worry about. Lisa needs braces. The mortgage needs paid. That's all he's worried about. Debbie J for $19.99. Thank you, Debbie. Says, what an absolute liar. How does the Commonwealth not clean house? Because Michael Morrissey finds this conduct acceptable. Michael Morrissey is a scumbag too. He has no problem with this course of action. Ergo, the case has 20 years of dismissals. I mean, yeah, cases need to get reopened. 4M470 says, how many more Lally types are around? In that office, a lot of them. Remember that attorney McLaughlin? She was up there with Lally and Hank. She's part of it too. I'm sure this whole office is suspect now. But around the country, there are a lot. There are a lot of prosecutors going to be like this. There's also a lot who try to do it the right way. So, more than you are comfortable. If we found out the real number, it'd be scary. It'd be scary to know. More than we're comfortably willing to accept. Should be 0, but it's a lot more than 0. And Kathy, your realtor living in New Jersey. Hi, Kathy. Hope you're doing well. And guys, remember, Kathy is your realtor. If you need to sell, buy, sell, lease, whatever it is in New Jersey, hit Kathy up. For $10, she says, this is frightening. It's fucking terrifying. It's terrifying as shit. Yeah. You could be sitting in prison. You could be sitting in jail for years and years on end, and Lally's just like, well, I'm tired. It's terrifying. Boosh McFadden is a new member. Well, thank you, Boosh. Thank you for the support, re-upping. Let's keep going here.
Do you remember telling the court, I was wrong, you were right. Do you remember telling the court there may be a couple of outstanding pieces talking about...
Notice he's saying, I can't find that. She's like, okay, yeah, you were right. It happens sometimes. Sometimes a witness gets it right, and you use the wrong document or something. No big deal.
Discovery that I'll check on, and some other pieces that I was speaking to Mr. Proctor about. But I think hopefully that by March 11th date, we should be able to proceed forward. Remember saying that to the court?
Do I remember saying that to the court? No.
Does reading that refresh your memory that you said it to the court?
I didn't read that portion. What page are we on?
Yes.
You can read from here over to here.
Okay.
Yourself, please.
Sure. Yes, that's correct.
Does that refresh your memory? Maybe allowing that you indicated to the court that, get this exactly right. So maybe a couple of outstanding pieces that I'll check on, and some other pieces that I was speaking to Ms. Proctor about, and hopefully by the March 11th date, we should be able to proceed forward. Did you say that to the court?
Well, those are two. So does it refresh my memory? No, but according to that transcript, that's what I said, yes.
Okay. And you know at that point that there were still 6 outstanding search warrants that you didn't have?
No, again, if I had known, then I would have gotten them and provided them.
Okay. But weren't we talking about search warrants on this day?
You're talking about 2022 search warrants, which were in a subsequent notice of discovery related to a cell tower dump. You were provided all of those as far as the application, the affidavit, the return, and copies of the warrants themselves.
So we're talking about search warrants.
Separate search warrants, yes.
And nothing's ringing a bell that you didn't turn over 6 search warrants?
Well, it's
Apparently not.
amazing his memory is really good on that, isn't it?
Okay.
It's
So the
amazing.
2022 search warrants that we talked about in court back on January 24th of 2024.
He's so in tune
At that
on
point,
that one.
Mr. King was indicted.
On the
Is
rest.
that right?
Yes.
Was Ms. Gardner indicted?
Yes.
All right. So what process did you go through to issue the 2022 search warrants after indictment?
Through this court.
I'm sorry?
Through this court.
So you went to Superior Court and asked for these search warrants. Is that right?
Myself personally, no.
Well, did you notify defense counsel that you were asking for search warrants in a case where a client had already been indicted?
No.
Do you know whether or not there's an obligation on behalf of the district attorney's office to notify defense counsel post-indictment if you're moving to request additional search warrants?
They weren't search warrants that were pertaining to the defendants. They were.
Do you know whether or not there is an obligation on behalf of the district attorney's office, you specifically, to notify defense counsel if you're seeking search warrants after indictment?
Objection. If this is a legal, yeah.
Sustained.
Thank you.
So in any event, we're talking about search warrants in January of 2024. You don't say anything about the search warrants that are still outstanding, those 6. And you tell the court there's only a few things that are outstanding then. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then we come back, we suggest March and we come back in March. Is that right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Then in March, do you tell the court, Your Honor, as far as discovery goes, we're in fairly good position. In regard to that, I believe that was turned over just prior at the last date. So there may be a couple of other additional items of discovery that I need to get and turn over. But otherwise, I think we're in a fairly good position. Did you say that to the court, sir?
Again, I don't.
Finish, Your Honor.
Yes. These transcripts in the FTR, what's on the FTR, what was said by whom, when, is all a matter of public record, and we can look at the FTR and get it. So specific quotes and what was said, what was represented, that's part of the record, and we can see
I just have to set it up so I can ask the question that I want to ask, Judge.
Great.
Thank you. So after having made that representation to the court, did you do anything to get the 6 search warrants?
No.
What were the outstanding matters as far as you understood back in March of 2024?
I don't recall exactly what we were talking about on a court date in March of 2024.
Do you have any notes that would refresh your memory as to what was outstanding at that point?
I might.
And would they be in your file?
If they were anywhere, that's where they would be, yes.
Okay.
That means they don't exist.
Now, other than the discovery motion that we filed, did we also file a pretrial conference report in this case?
That I don't recall.
Okay. But you understand, normally we file a pretrial conference report where you agree to give you what I'm asking for, and we agree to file motions on stuff we can't agree on. Is that typically how it goes?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't remember signing a pretrial conference report? Not that you didn't, you just don't recall.
I don't recall every pretrial conference report I've signed.
Okay. And then we talked about the meeting with the state police. Did you have any meetings with the Milton police regarding outstanding discovery?
In-person meetings? No.
Did you send the Milton police the same type of discovery request that you would have sent to the state police?
Yes.
And did you follow up with the Milton police the same way that you say you followed up with the state police?
Yes.
And did you follow up specifically with Lieutenant Collins?
Yes.
And so what in your mind was outstanding on the Milton discovery that you were communicating with Lieutenant Collins regarding?
At what time?
Let's start at the beginning.
Again, it's the same type of information that you asked about before, as far as reports or photographs or any material that they might have pertinent to the case.
So whatever the Milton police turned over to you, would you have kept notes of that somewhere?
Yes.
Or there's been emails back and forth between you and Milton about what transpired?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any trouble getting information from the Milton Police Department?
No.
When you asked for things, did they return your email and give you what you were looking for?
Yes.
Were there any reports from the Milton Police Department that you say you didn't have before you turned the case over to ADA Hickman?
There was one report, yes.
And what was that report regarding?
Mr. Turner.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Turner.
And what about Mr. Turner?
There was a report in the materials that ADA Hickman turned over in 2025 that was, I believe, offered by Detective Sergeant Clifford Murphy pertaining to Mr. Turner that I had never seen before.
Okay. And do you know why that wasn't turned over by the Milton Police Department?
No.
Did you go down to the Milton Police Department and look through their files?
No.
At any point in time when you were representing the Commonwealth, in this case, did you go down to the Milton Police Department and look through their files?
No.
Is that something that you would normally do in a homicide case? Go to the police officer's office and ask for the file?
At what point in the case?
At any point.
Typically, that would be something that I would endeavor to do closer to trial.
Closer to trial?
Yes.
So how could you make sure your obligation was satisfied if you're not meeting with the police until right before trial?
It's an ongoing duty and obligation that extends even beyond a trial.
Right, that's not my point. My point is, if you're not meeting with them and you're not going through their information, how do you know you've turned everything over to the defense?
Because I've requested it and I've been given assurances or information indicating that that is what they have.
Let me ask you the same question about the state police. Did you ever go through the state police file?
How do you know you turned it over? Because I gave you everything I had. But how do you know you had everything? Because I gave you everything I had. And now this is the judge now. The judge now saying, did you ever look through the police file? Knowing you had all these problems. The judge is now, but like, wait, you clearly didn't. So how did you check?
While you were handling the case, as opposed to making requests and even sitting down with the state police to make, face-to-face requests on an ongoing basis and all the follow-up contacts that you had, did you ever actually request their whole file to go through it yourself?
No.
Okay.
And can you tell us, was there a policy within the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office of sitting down with police departments, whether it's state police or Milton Police, and reviewing their file prior to trial?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. So how far in advance of trial do you finally sit down and go through, let's take the Milton Police box?
It would depend, case to case, but it's something that I would probably do at least a few months ahead of trial.
A few months. And is that the first time that you put your hands on the actual box, or are you still dependent upon the Lieutenant Collins and other officers to give you what you're looking for?
Oh, that would be a time where I'm actually like, let me see the file and ensure that I have everything that you have.
Okay. And is there any prohibition to that meeting that you have a couple of months prior to trial happening right after indictment?
No, and that would be my practice now. So you're asking about sort of my general practice at the time. That would have been it at the time, but now I would do that much, much earlier in a case.
Okay. And the state police the same way? Did you sit down with them at some point and look through their file, or you never looked through their file?
No, as His Honor just asked, no, I didn't.
Okay. So I guess my question is, how did it work? Did they only look through their file and send you what you're asking for? Or at any point did they send you, here's everything that we have?
My request and my ask was for everything they had. So as far as me then double checking to ensure that I have everything they have, that would be something that would occur later on. And as I just indicated, my practice now would be to do that much earlier in a case.
Okay. So when you go in this case, you knew we had picked a September 8th trial date, right?
I was aware, yes.
Okay. So you knew the case was ready for trial on September 8th. When were you planning on sitting down with the Milton Police and going through their file?
As the case was reassigned to ADA Hickman around the time that we selected the trial date, I don't know that I had a specific plan to do that. I did have a specific plan to meet with ADA Hickman to go through the file to ensure that she had everything that was there.
So by the time she had taken over in January of 2025, you had not made any plans to sit down with the Milton Police to go through their file, is that right?
She had taken over prior to that, but no, I hadn't.
Okay, and the same with the state police, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so when you're updating ADA Hickman, when she takes over the case, do you tell her, I've never actually seen the files, it's on my list of things to do, but I never get down there, you should get down and take a look at the files?
Not that specific, but yes.
What did you tell her?
That, during the regular trial preparation or meeting with the officers as it gets closer to trial, I would do that, but I hadn't done that yet.
So I still kind of understand. Is there like when the police give you something, do they just email it to you, or is there like a list to say, we gave ADA Lally these documents on this date?
As far as their list?
Yes.
I have no idea what they have.
Okay. So you don't know, just today, if they have an index of all the things they say they gave to you?
I don't.
Okay. And do you, on the opposite side, have an index of the things you got from them?
It would be contained within those requests, yes.
All right, so at some point, do you print out all your requests and say, okay, let me just make sure I have everything here. I've been requesting something since, December of 2021. I want to make sure I have everything. Do you sit down and do that at some point to make sure everything you requested you've received?
My general practice would be, yes, that would be as I know we're getting closer to a trial date.
Attorney Scapicchio, it's a little after 11, and we're going to be able to go until about 11:10. and then I have to break because we're going to have to do the motions to suppress on the 2 other matters. So we need to think about an appropriate time to break. Maybe now is a good time to break, and we need to talk about another date when we can come back and continue the hearing.
That's actually not a problem, him not knowing what the police procedure is. He doesn't need to know MSP's procedures, but, you know, it's clear he was fucking around and fucking around and fucking around.
Okay. Attorney Lally, you can step down. Thank you. For the record, I think the defendant's general motion for relevant discovery is docket number 8 in docket number 21, CR 320. That's what we were going to mark as Exhibit 1. It's signed by you, Ms. Capiccio.
It was on behalf of Ms. Gardner.
I don't know. I didn't dig up a motion to join, but in any event, we're talking about what would be otherwise Exhibit 1. It's docket number 8 in the case. All right. Next dates. I would like to have the benefit of your comparison of the old and new, the earlier disclosed and the later disclosed, and how the various items are different.
So,
might I ask also that the court order if they are materially prejudicial to the defendant as we explore discovery?
Yeah, I'm not sure where your microphone is, but if you can, your mic, can you speak right into the mic?
May I also ask the court to order what is materially prejudiced?
Right.
Materials.
Right. It would be helpful to me if you're proceeding on a prejudice argument to know what it is that you contend is prejudicially late disclosed. Okay. And
might take a little longer, Judge, because last Thursday we got some additional discoveries from the Commonwealth.
Well, let's start in tranches. Okay, we can deal with April, and then we can deal with May.
Okay.
And if we have to deal with it in parts, we can deal with it in parts.
Sure, Your
Honor. But I don't know how much time it's going to take for the parties to get together on this, and I don't know how far out we should look at a date.
And as far as the time frame for the material, how about when counsel filed the motion? Up until that point, I'm not going to.
Oh, Mr. McGee is suggesting that which of the documents produced as of the time you filed the motion for sanctions or to dismiss,
okay,
do you now view as prejudicial? That is to say, and frankly, how you were prejudiced. Okay, this is a witness who's deceased, or we have no way of following up on this, or whatever it is. Okay.
That's part of the other. I don't want to not meet before that.
I mean, the fact is, we've had to wait 4 years and get the motherfucker done. That's pretty prejudicial. It's changed discovery to the point you gave this guy basically a $10,000 bond. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear.
I mean,
I would like you to do a week, spend a week to try to get back and forth together on these.
Sure.
There's a long list, but it's not voluminous. You can deal with it. You've been through these documents. Each side has been through the documents.
Sure.
So hopefully you can come up with a list. And I'm happy to give you a date when we can continue this hearing.
Sure. How far out do you think we need to go?
Well, it depends on when you can get that list together. I don't know how long it's going to take for you folks to get together, but we could do later this week for continuation of the evidence. We could do the following week, I believe, on the 29th to 30th in the morning. I'm not 100% sure.
Could I bring the other parties in? I think
sure.
Another ADA draft.
Sure.
Parties. And I know we have counsel here for another party, so.
If somebody has the transcripts of all the various hearings.
I do. I'm happy to share them with everybody.
Yeah, share them with everybody, and let's.
We literally late last night.
All right, but my point is, in the next hearing, stand up and say, Exhibit A is all the transcripts of the various hearings on discovery. That's Exhibit 1. Okay, and Exhibit 2 is our reconciliation between the documents, and this is the way in which they're different or new. Okay, and Exhibit 3 is whatever else you want. Here's our discovery report, and here's my discovery motion, and here's the motion. You don't need a witness for that. These are all part of the record, and there's going to be no contest as to any of that. That's just putting in the record. And then if you have specific questions for somebody, ask it. But so I think this can be done in a much more streamlined way. And hopefully we can do it that way. How much more, what other witnesses do you anticipate?
I anticipate Trooper Proctor, who didn't join us today. And I anticipate ADA Hickman. Those are the only three that I've subpoenaed, but based on the testimony, I think we're probably going to need Lieutenant Collins as well, Judge, and maybe Trooper Kelly.
All right, how many witnesses do you think you're going to need?
Trooper Tully here, W. Chief Collins, and Officer Binda, regarding the Milton issues. And there's a motion to quash, and I know Your Honor's up against somewhat of the time with respect to ADA Hickman, being the predecessor counsel and now counsel of record on the case, that she can answer any questions the court can has that are remaining from right where she stands
All right.
and opposing the production of.
All right. So we have 4, maybe 5 witnesses left. So we need a day when we can do this in an efficient way.
That's not true.
Jim, how does our calendar look?
7/29.
Actually, hold on, let me ask
Tuesday,
you.
particularly good.
Particularly good.
Well,
There was
a
a reason for that.
No,
I'm
that's
trying
right.
to remember what that reason was.
Tuesday.
We have a noon lobby conference.
There's a lobby
I have
conference.
a federal case on, so.
29th is not going to work for you. Okay.
How about the 30th in the morning?
We have anything on that morning?
We do not.
No.
Should we potentially push it to the first week of August?
The 30th is a problem for you?
It is. I have on the 5th or 6th.
6th is out. 5th is a possibility, but I don't know what we have that morning.
Okay. How about
According to me, the 5th
Seven.
is good.
That's locked up. Let's just pull up the list for the 5th. I know I am not away that day.
Dr. Calderon,
Mhm.
the lobby.
All right, so it looks like we could do August 5th.
That's good. I know that,
Can you do that?
I can.
All right.
Does it work for
Witness issues, August 5th? That's okay? All right.
so that's good. I know that, Trooper Proctor's attorney is here. We did serve him in hand today. Could he communicate the new dates, so we don't have to reserve him? I don't want to go back to his home.
Morning, Your Honor. Dan Moynihan on behalf of Michael Proctor. He can be available August 5th.
Okay, good. So 9 o'clock?
Sure.
I would like to get the agreed to exhibits, including the transcripts of any prior hearings, any prior filings that you want to draw to my attention, the reconciliation of exhibits, et cetera, in advance. So I am away the 31st and 1st. So if I have them here by first thing on the morning of the 4th, I'll read them all before the 5th. Okay? So I'm not trying to create artificial deadlines for you, but I think everything will go faster if I've had a chance to take a look at the agreed to exhibits. Okay?
Absolutely, Ron.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ron.
9 a.m.
We'll take a 15-minute break and reconvene 11:30 on the motions to suppress.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
All right, chat. So they come back August 5th. Is there? I think there's a little more here. Where do they? Does anything else happen? No. Oh, actually, hold on here. Let's see what this is.
Okay, great. How many witnesses do you have? One?
After I did get a chance to review the affidavit this morning, just confirmed with counsel that it's solely on the stop. Based on what I had seen, the motion was on the stop. There's other mentions in the affidavit to other things.
I think this is actually somebody else's case, so we're just going to leave that there, chat. We have to hear Jim Cough yet? No. Joe, this happened today. This morning. You guys remember, once again, show some love to Mike Crawford over at the Young Jerks. He recorded this and didn't talk over it, so it makes it so much easier for us to follow along with. What are the chances Lally just hit the bar after this? Probably pretty good. Nothing wrong. Getting a liquid lunch in. And then Ariel says, I'm a good prosecutor. I have to be since the new one doesn't know how to use Word and fell asleep at his desk today. Sounds like a real boomer. Michael Gelke is saying, how many people are shit at your job? The same ratio for prosecutors. Yes, the bell curve, chat, is undefeated. Remember, the average, 50% of people are below average. That includes judges and prosecutors. So, yeah. And it's even worse, though, for prosecutors because they're presumably a little smarter. So it's not really an issue of not knowing what to do. It's they don't care what to do. And then Jim tells you, hi, Jim, hope you're doing well. Says, how are these people not being prosecuted by the feds for violating people's rights? Because the feds don't do it. It'd be nice if they did. It'd be nice if they did at some point, or, just the very least, judge says, I'm holding you in contempt. If a prosecutor got thrown in jail for 15 days, holy shit, they'd figure things out. Ricky fucking tick. But the next best alternative is starting to dismiss cases, letting the monsters and murderers run free. It's the only way to correct society. And then Whiskey 77 for $19.99. Says 3 beers received Officer of the Month. Oh, congrats. Conduct above and beyond his position as commander of the Auschwitz gas chambers. Hey, you know, Employee of the Month is Employee of the Month. You wonder if they did have Employee of the Month at those places. You know, like Employee of the Month for Jablinka in like July 1943. Thank you, Whiskey. Guys, Whiskey and 3 beers do Assholes React. You can find them on A-Holes React on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. You're on YouTube. Jefferson Poe says, you don't know what you don't know. Donald Rumsfeld. Correct. And Luke is right, ultimately. Yes. The issue is going to be what prejudice can't be cured by delay because he's not going to find bad faith by Lally. Yep. And that's the problem. The judges won't do what's necessary. They will not punish the state. This conduct will keep going because everybody else in that office sees, oh, well, if I fuck up, it's okay. We just take more time. And that's the problem. Cool channel name says prosecutors do not swear in. Do you mean like when you join the office? I mean, I had to take an oath twice. Like the first office I worked at, second office I worked at. You know, you take an oath to swear and uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, you know, and the laws of the state of Ohio, and you do so with good ethics and in accordance with professionalism. And I signed it, and that was actually my boss. Actually, both offices, they recorded that shit. That shit got, and then they recorded it. It got stamped at the recorder's office. And that stuff got filed. Or actually, the clerk's office. I think that stuff got filed. But that stuff got documented. Boosh says, I talked to my cousin in Boston. He's a Vietnam vet. Both of his sons went into law enforcement. They all hate Norfolk and Massachusetts for doing this to Karen. I'm betting a lot of people hate what happened to Karen here. A lot of people do. But yeah, sadly, I don't think anything's going to happen at the end of the day. Let's see here. Edward Scott says, my rap name would have been Toledo Sandwich Eater. Yes, it would have. Oh, you meant swearing in court. Okay, that's different. Even defense attorneys or guardians, if you're an attorney, you're presumed to be, you are under oath as an officer of the court, you have a duty of candor. So yes, officially in trial, I could see somebody getting sworn in, but I've been a guardian before, and you have to testify. So, the judges say, like, Mr. Martin, or the magistrate be like, Mr. Martin, as you are the guardian, you're not being sworn in as an officer of court, you have a duty of candor. And you go from there. So, YouTube has unsubbed me from Sean 5 times too. Oh, well, that sucks. But yes, we're bound by the oath. We're bound by the, obligations and candor and the rules of ethics. So yeah. And even then you can still get, at trial, they swear everybody in just to do it right and do it the way for everybody. But yeah, technically, thank you for the info. Yeah. Now, some places just swear people in, period. But like I said, has happened other places. It's also not my rap name. It's also the sex act named after me. Ooh, sounds kinky. Also, chat, moving on from there into other news in the Karen Reed world. We have this little interesting thing here. This is a woman named Catherine Peter, also known as Kate Peter. Also known as Krusty Panties. In a case number 2461 CR 00273. I don't know which court this is in, but it's a guilty plea. It's a guilty plea. And what did Kate Peter plead guilty to? She pleaded guilty to attempting to commit a crime. Now, that crime was witness intimidation, but she was able to skate on the charges. Who knows why? I'm sure that didn't matter, that she had a deal with whatever prosecutor's office was involved in this, and they didn't do it. I'm sure there wasn't any bullshit there. I'm totally sure, chat. So, yeah, she's guilty of being a twat, yes. She's now a convicted criminal informant, yes. And like all good informants, she's a drug addict, too. She's a recovering addict. Who had her kids taken away from her. So, It's like she's like batting 1,000 for like the addict bingo, the informant bingo. So good job, Kate. Good job, Kate. Yes, trust in the crust. Ew, ew, ew. All right, chat. All right. Oh my God, that is. Oh, I got a email from the prosecutor. I need to put this in my calendar. Let me see here. Hold on, chat. Did I get that right? Too many E's. Nope, I got that right. Hold on. Whoop-pow! I ordered my KFC extra crusty. Yeah. Speak of the devil, I guess. Who's this Kate Peters, Kronos? This Kate Peters is the one who is a criminal informant helping the state police and the district attorney's office prosecute Turtle Boy. That's this Kate Peter. It's the same one we talked about over the weekend as well. The one Chili is suing. Yes, and the one who used to be with Turtle Boy. Has Angela shown up yet? No. Roscoe says, I have sit down. I mail you your souvenir from Bohol. Well, thank you, man. Glad you made it back. Hope you enjoyed it. It's the Leominster District Court. Well, I don't, wherever that is, somewhere in Boston. So, but that's kind of like the other update for what we're doing here. Is Angela shown up yet? I don't know, guys. But yeah, be nice to people. I like people in this chat. So don't be completely dickheaded. Yes, Kate never dated Turtle Boy, but she used to write for his news service, and that thing. Kate and Turtle Boy they were a team. She did a lot of work for him, and yeah, they kind of fell apart. Okay. Yeah, what else? Oh, we gotta hold on. We got a present to open up. Gotta go grab a present, chat. Hold on. Oh, I thought he said he did date her. I don't know. It's clear, but they go back a long way. They go back a long way here. So, and we're gonna land the plane here in a second, but I need to grab a present. Hold on, chat. All right, chat. We're back. All right, hold on one second, chat. So, hashtag saying gifts and it isn't even Thursday. Well, 2.0 is getting me all kinds of stuff in the lead up to my 40th. So, something for 2.0 again. So, it's not 40 days of gifts because we didn't start on July 1st. So, but the thought is there. The thought is there. So. Okay, so let's see here. Oh! Ooh! This is... Okay, is this what I think it is? I think this is for, Yeah, I like this. Cool. Got to figure out how this goes together here. But this is for hand painting, like figures in smaller pieces. I don't know how this goes together, but you you have your little thing here. You put a little pin in and put the thing on it, and you can paint. So this will be fun. This will be fun. And where do these go? Do these go right in here? I don't know where this... I don't understand what this thing is meant to do. I don't know what this part's for, the metal part. Like, I don't get it. Like, what do I do with it? I don't know. But thank you, sweetheart. Babe. Thank you. Hold on one sec. The win model holder. Thank you. Hold on one second, chat. All right, chat. I'm back. It's a metal thing for positioning and comfort. Unlike lawsuit, it says it steadies the hand. Okay. It's like, do I hold it like this? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that helping steady the hand because it fills it up. Okay, cool. Nice. And now I can put it on the model cart that 2.0 got me that I put together earlier. So there we go. You can grip that and use your fingers to rotate the model holder without needing to set it down. Okay, yeah. So I can there we go. Flip it up. Is it on the wrong way? Did I put it upside down? I'm like, is it the wrong way? Should it be like this? When you say flip it up, is it like upside down world? No, guys, 2.0 is amazing. I don't deserve her at all. Amazing woman. Yes, okay, so it goes like this. All right, let's try this out. All right, there we go. So then you rest your hand. Oh, okay. I get it. I can basically rest my hand on this. Okay. Then you rest your hand on it. I get it. Now I can like, yeah, I got you. Okay. That works. And it comes with a bunch of extra wood thingies so I can like paint them and clean them as I go. Cool. Nice. So still upside down. Har. Then it came with, I don't know what the hell this is in here. So it's still upside down, the metal wire part. It can't be upside down. It was only upside down the other way. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about shaking, but that'll help a lot because we've got... Don't shake. But there we go. No shakes over here, chat. So there we go. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up here. We are going to get started. Think of it as a spoon on a hand grenade. That would be fun. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up here. We're going to land the plane. We got to get going to get some other stuff. Model stream to test it. We will do that at some point here coming up. We will do that soon. I'm stabilized by mayonnaise and grinder rolls. Well, who wouldn't be? With that said, chat, we are going to head over to locals here right about 9 o'clock. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. But we are going to go over to locals, do the Monday night show. Remember, promo code Summertime 2025. That's how you get into it. Summertime 2025. You could join for free, get you 1 month free access. But otherwise, if you aren't supporting, can't be part of the show. With that said, I hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys for all being here tonight. Posted a schedule up on locals. I posted a schedule up over here on YouTube. You guys can see it. We've got a schedule for the week. And yeah, with that, I will leave you guys to it. And just remember, until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Although this Myron, the Myles King guy sounds pretty guilty. And Lally, 100% guilty. 100% guilty. So good night, chat, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And I just want to say tonight, guys, thank you so much for the big frickin' support. You guys are always amazing. Love you guys. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys again. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. Good night, chat.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rick Hayden yelled at? Why, yes it was, he even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go. Here's on Martin's Potato.